Have you ever woken up feeling a bit off balance? Like your fingers aren't quite cooperating with that first cup, and wondered if it's just part of aging? It's a common morning mystery for many of us over 60. Where a simple task like pouring coffee suddenly feels awkward, almost like your hand has a mind of its own. But what if that slight clumsiness isn't just the years catching up, but a quiet whisper from your body about something more serious lurking in your routine? As we enter our golden years, those quiet morning moments can hold more importance than we realize, especially when it comes to something as serious as stroke risk. You see, strokes often seem to strike without warning. But the truth is, subtle signals and everyday routines might be building up that danger right under our noses, particularly in the first hour after waking. At Healthy Madam, we delved deep into both ancient traditions of mindful living and the latest studies on brain health to uncover what really matters for folks over 60. Today, we're resharing 5 common morning habits that could quietly ramp up your stroke risk, things like how you hydrate or handle your routine that many of us overlook. We'll explain why they matter, back it up with real insights, and give you easy fixes that fit right into your day. Trust us, these aren't overwhelming overhauls. They read gentle shifts that could make all the difference in keeping your mornings peaceful and your health protected. Healthy Madam has lived these solutions alongside our community of seniors for years, and we've seen how they bring real peace of mind. By the end, you'll have actionable steps that might just help you or a loved one avoid a scary situation. You'll wish you tuned in sooner. Imagine starting your day not with worry about what might go wrong, but with confidence that you're nurturing your body from the very first moment. We've heard from so many in our group who, after making these changes, report feeling more steady, more alert, and less anxious about those little off feelings that used to nag at them. For instance, there's the story of a vibrant 68-year-old grandmother who joined our online discussions after a close call with dizziness that her doctor flagged as a potential stroke precursor. She shared how mornings used to be a rush of habits she'd carried from her working days. But learning about these risks opened her eyes. It's stories like hers that inspire us at Healthy Madam to keep digging deeper. Blending wisdom from elders who've thrived into their 90s with modern research from top neurologists. We've pored over journals and chatted with experts to ensure every tip we share is rooted in reliability, not hype. And the beauty is, these aren't exotic remedies requiring fancy gadgets or trips to the store. They're tweaks using what you already have at home, like a glass of water or a few deep breaths. Picture this. Instead of brushing off that morning fog as inevitable, you address it head-on with knowledge that empowers you. Our community members often tell us how empowering it feels to take control. One retiree even said it was like rediscovering the joy in simple routines he'd lost after his spouse passed. At Healthy Madam, we believe health after 60 is about savoring life, not fearing it. And that's why we're passionate about these conversations. So settle in, grab your favorite mug, and let's explore how your mornings can become your strongest ally against hidden risks. You'll walk away not just informed, but inspired to make tomorrow's start a little brighter and safer. Mistake number 1. Diving straight into coffee without anything in your stomach. Do you reach for that steaming mug of coffee the moment your feet hit the floor, thinking it's the perfect wake-up boost? Many of us do, especially on those slower mornings when we want a quick pick-me-up. It's a ritual passed down through generations. That aromatic brew signaling the day's beginning. But have you paused to consider if it's truly serving you well after 60? Let me share a quick story from our Healthy Madam community. One of our followers, a retired teacher in her late 60s, used to start every day with black coffee while reading the paper. She mentioned in our online group how she'd feel jittery and lightheaded by mid-morning, but chalked it up to needing more caffeine. It was untinned until she connected with others sharing similar experiences that she realized it might be more than that. This teacher, let's call her story a window into many lives. She'd been a dedicated educator for 40 years. Rising early to grade papers over coffee, a habit that carried into retirement. But as she aged, those jitters turned into episodes where she'd de-drop her spoon or feel her heart race unevenly during her morning walk. Sharing in our forum, she described a particularly alarming day when the lightheadedness led her to sit down abruptly, fearing a fall. It was a fellow member, a former nurse, who suggested linking it to her coffee routine, sparking a group discussion that uncovered how common this was. Another contributor chimed in with her own tale, a 75-year-old widower who ignored similar symptoms until a doctor's visit revealed elevated blood pressure spikes tied to his caffeine-first mornings. These stories weave a tapestry of realization in our community, where seniors from all walks, gardeners, book club enthusiasts, even amateur painters bond over these revelations, turning potential isolation into shared wisdom and support. Here's why this habit can be tricky after 60. When we wake up, our bodies are naturally a bit dehydrated from hours without fluids, making our blood thicker and harder to pump. Jumping right into coffee, which is a diuretic, can worsen that dehydration and spike your blood pressure, quickly creating strain on your arteries. Plus, on an empty stomach, the caffeine hits harder, potentially causing irregular heart rhythms or even clotting issues over time. Research from heart health experts shows that this combo contributes to higher stroke incidence in the morning, as it disrupts steady blood flow to the brain. And for seniors, with vessels that might not bounce back as easily, it's like adding extra pressure to an already delicate system. Delving deeper, consider how overnight your body has been in a fasting state, conserving energy, but upon waking, hormones like cortisol surge to mobilize you. Coffee amplifies this. But without hydration, it can lead to vasoconstriction, narrowing of blood vessels that taxes the heart. We've seen in community shares how this manifests not just physically, but emotionally. One member recounted mornings turning sour with unexplained irritability, later traced to these imbalances. Another example comes from a 70-year-old veteran who, after years of strong black coffee starts, experienced palpitations that mimicked anxiety attacks, only resolved when he adjusted his routine. Studies echo this, highlighting how dehydration thickens blood viscosity, making it prone to sluggish flow and microclots, especially in aging arteries prone to plaque. It's a cascade. Thicker blood means harder work for the heart, higher pressure on brain vessels, and voila, heightened stroke window in that vulnerable first hour. Our forums buzz with these aha moments, like the artist who noticed her brushstrokes wobbling after coffee, attributing it wrongly to arthritis until education set her straight. But don't worry, we're not saying give up your coffee entirely. Instead, here's the simple fix. Start with a glass of room temperature water or herbal tea first, maybe with a squeeze of lemon for a gentle cleanse. Wait about 15 to 20 minutes before your coffee and pair it with a small snack if possible. This rehydrates you gradually, eases the caffeine's impact, and helps maintain smoother circulation right from the start. Expanding on this, imagine infusing your water with slices of cucumber or a hint of mint for a refreshing twist that feels indulgent yet healthful. Community members rave about this switch. The retired teacher we mention now begins with warm lemon water, reporting steadier energy and fewer drops or spills. She even started a thread sharing recipes like adding ginger for digestion perks. Another storyteller, a grandfather of 5, pairs his water with a handful of almonds, turning it into a mini ritual that honors his body's needs. It's engaging because it's customizable, perhaps tie it to a fond memory, like sipping herbal tea reminiscent of childhood gardens. Over time, this builds resilience. Research supports that consistent hydration cuts stroke risk by improving endothelial function, the lining of blood vessels. In our group, transformations abound. One lady, a postfix, joined a walking club, crediting her newfound morning stability. It's storytelling in action, where small steps lead to big life enhancements, keeping you engaged in your own health narrative. Mistake number 2. Putting off your morning medications or skipping the routine check. Is your pill organizer tucked away? And do you sometimes think, I'll take them after breakfast or forget amid the morning shuffle. It's easy to let this slip when the day feels unhurried, but that delay might be more consequential than it seems for our well-being after 60. We heard from a gentleman in our Healthy Madam circle, a 72-year-old avid gardener, who admitted he often delayed his blood pressure meds because he did unlike taking them on an empty stomach. He shared how one morning he felt unusually dizzy while tending his roses, and it turned out his pressure had spiked unchecked, thankfully. A neighbor noticed and got him help in time. This gardener's tale resonates deeply. He'd spent decades nurturing his backyard oasis, rising with the sun to prune and plant, his meds an afterthought amid the soil and blooms. But that dizzy spell, it came during a routine weeding session where he nearly toppled into his flower bed, heart pounding erratically. Posting in our community, he opened up about the fear that gripped him, prompting responses from others with parallel experience as a 69-year-old baker who forgot her statins, a mid-dose eating leading to chest tightness, or a fisherman who skipped doses for early casts only to face numbness on the boat. These narratives form a chorus of caution, where everyday passions clash with health oversight, turning forums into lifelines of empathy and advice. One particularly moving share came from a couple in their 70s. The husband delayed meds to join his wife for coffee chats, but a shared scare united them in better habits, strengthening their bond. The issue here is that mornings are when blood pressure naturally rises as our bodies gear up for the day, known as the morning surge. If you're on meds for hypertension, cholesterol, or blood thinners, delaying them leaves you vulnerable during this peak window. Studies indicate that inconsistent medication timing can increase stroke risk by up to 40% in older adults, as uncontrolled pressure damages vessel walls and promotes clots. For seniors who might already deal with age-related changes in how meds are processed, this gap can turn a routine morning into a higher-risk period. To elaborate, this surge is evolution's way of preparing us for activity. But in aging systems, it can overwhelm weakened vessels, leading to sheer stress that erodes linings over time. Community examples illustrate this vividly. The gardener's unchecked spike mimicked a mini-vent, with symptoms like blurred vision echoing transient ischemic attacks. Another member, a quilter, described forgetting her aspirin, resulting in headaches that disrupted her creative flow, later linked to platelet aggregation risks. Research delves into pharmacokinetics, showing how liver and kidney slowdowns in seniors mean meds need precise timing to maintain therapeutic levels. Delays disrupt this, allowing fluctuations that inflame endothelium and foster atherosclerosis. It's a domino effect. Erratic pressure leads to vascular remodeling, heightening embolism chances. Our stories highlight the human side one widow shared, delaying meds post-loss, compounding grief with health woes until group support turned tides. The good news is, fixing this is straightforward and builds reliability into your day. Set a gentle alarm or place your meds right by your bedside with a small glass of water. Take them as soon as you wake, even before getting out of bed, and follow with a light stretch. If stomach upset is a concern, chat with your doctor about timing or alternatives. This small habit ensures your protection kicks in when you need it most. Building on this, envision personalizing your organizer with stickers of favorite flowers or photos, making it a joyful cue rather than a chore. The gardener now takes his pills with sunrise views, integrating it into his planting ritual, and reports blooming vitality. Forum threads overflow with tips. One uses a phone app with soothing chimes. Another pairs it with affirmations for mental uplift. Consulting docs often yields tweaks like enteric-coated options for tummy ease, empowering choices. Over months, consistency yields dividends, steadier moods. Fewer scares as echoed in a member's journey from frequent visits to peaceful gardening. It's engaging because it reclaims autonomy, weaving health into life's fabric with stories of triumph that inspire collective growth. Mistake number 3, opting for sugary starts like pastries or sweetened cereals. Ever grab a donut or bowl of frosted flakes because it's quick and comforting, especially on those chilly mornings. That sweet indulgence can feel like a warm hug. But let's explore if it's hugging back in the best way for our bodies over 60. A story that sticks with us at Healthy Madame comes from a widow in her 70s who joined our forums after a health scare. She'd always treated herself to sugary muffins for breakfast, thinking it was a harmless indulgence after years of strict diets. But she noticed increasing fatigue and headaches. And her doctor linked it to blood sugar swings that were stressing her heart. This widow's narrative tugs at heartstrings. Having lost her partner, she found solace in baking sweet treats, recreating memories over muffins each dawn. Yet, the fatigue crept in, turning joyful reminiscences into exhausting slumps where she'd nap mid-morning, missing social calls. Sharing online, she connected with a chorus, a grandfather indulging in cereal for grandkids' visits, facing shaky hands that halted playtime, or a book lover whose Danish habit led to foggy reading sessions. These tales unfold like chapters, revealing how comfort foods mask deeper disruptions, with community replies offering hugs through words, transforming vulnerability into strength. One poignant addition: a former chef who spun sugary starts into culinary regrets until swaps revived his passion. Why does this matter? Sugary foods cause rapid blood sugar spikes, followed by crashes, which inflame arteries and raise insulin resistance, key factors in diabetes, a major stroke contributor. In seniors, our metabolism slows, making it harder to handle these surges, and morning intake hits when the body is resetting hormones. Data from nutrition research shows that high-sugar breakfasts are tied to a 20 to 30% higher risk of cardiovascular events, including strokes, by promoting plaque buildup. It's not just about calories, it's how they disrupt steady energy to the brain. Diving further, these spikes trigger oxidative stress, damaging vessel walls and fostering endothelial dysfunction, where arteries lose flexibility. Community anecdotes bring this alive. The widow's headaches signaled inflammation, akin to mini assaults on her brain supply lines. Another, a hiker, noted leg cramps post-sweets, tied to poor circulation from glycemic chaos. Studies detail how insulin resistance in older adults amplifies this. With dawn phenomenon, natural glucose rises exacerbated by sugars, leading to hypercoagulation. It's a vicious cycle. Crashes prompt more cravings, perpetuating risk. As one member described, spiraling into afternoon naps that isolated her socially. Vascular experts note plaque acceleration, narrowing paths to the brain, heightening ischemic threats in that morning vulnerability. To turn this around without feeling deprived, swap in balanced options that satisfy. Try plain yogurt with fresh berries and a sprinkle of nuts, or whole grain toast with avocado and a boiled egg. These provide sustained fuel, fiber for cholesterol control, and keep blood sugar even, making your mornings energized rather than erratic. Enriching this experiment with flavors like cinnamon on yogurt for natural sweetness, evoking bakery aromas sans harm. The widow now savors berry parfaits, crediting them for renewed vigor in widow support groups. Threads buzz with recipes: nutty oatmeal bowls or egg muffins, shared with photos that spark culinary adventures. Benefits compound: stable sugar aids cognition, reducing fog, as a reader-turned-chef innovated low-sugar twists on favorites. It's captivating, fostering creativity and connection, where health becomes a delicious story of reinvention. Mistake number 4. Checking your phone or news right away, inviting early stress. Do you find yourself scrolling emails or headlines before even brushing your teeth, just to get a jump on the day? In our connected world, it's tempting to dive in. But could this be dimming the calm we deserve in our later years? One of our community members, a former nurse, now in her 80s, has opened up about how she'd start mornings glued to her tablet for world news. She described building anxiety that left her tense all day, and eventually, it contributed to a mini-stroke episode her doctor attributed partly to chronic stress spikes. This nurse's journey is inspiring. After decades caring for others, retirement brought gadget fascination. But news feeds fueled worries that echoed patient tales she'd witnessed. The tension built subtly racing thoughts over coffee, leading to a day where speech slurred briefly. Atia, wake up. In forums, echoes resound. A veteran scrolling war updates, aggravating PTSD-like symptoms, or a teacher checking school emails, stirring old stresses into hypertension flares. These vignettes paint resilience. The nurses' share sparked a tech detox challenge where members traded stories of reclaimed peace. Like rediscovering birdwatching sand screens. This habit amps up cortisol levels when they're already naturally high upon waking, tightening blood vessels and hiking pressure. For those over 60, repeated stress can harden arteries and trigger inflammation, with studies linking morning psychological strain to significantly higher stroke odds, sometimes within hours. It's subtle, but that mental load compounds physical vulnerabilities like weaker vessel elasticity in seniors. Exploring more, cortisol floods constrict flow, mimicking fight-or-flight in a resting body, eroding vascular health over time. Examples abound. The nurse's episode tied to adrenaline surges damaging intima layers. A golfer in group chats linked early emails to palpitations ruining swings. Research confirming stress-induced platelet activation heightens clotting. In elders, hypothalamic pituitary-enral axis dysregulation amplifies this, turning benign habits into catalysts for endothelial injury and atherosclerosis progression. It's insidious cumulative microtraumas leading to macro events, as one member's gradual vision blurs illustrated. The remedy is creating a calm buffer, and it's easier than you think. Begin with 10 minutes of quiet, perhaps deep breathing, light journaling about gratitude, or enjoying birdsong from your window. Save screens for after you've eased in. This lowers stress hormones and sets a serene tone, safeguarding your vascular health from the outset. Amplifying this, curate your buffer with personal touches, like sketching dreams or sipping tea mindfully, evoking tranquility. The nurse now journals patient gratitude, finding catharsis and clarity. Community swaps include guided audios or porch sits with photos shared inspiring others. Outcomes shine, reduced anxiety, sharper focus, as a participant reclaimed hobbies post, detox. It's engrossing, turning mornings into sanctuaries of self-care through collective narratives. Mistake number 5. Staying put too quickly, like lounging without any light activity. After waking, do you linger in bed or plop on the couch for a while, figuring rest is best for creaky joints? That leisurely ease seems restorative, but might it be stalling the vitality we seek in our senior chapters? We recall a tale from a healthy Madam participant, a 68-year-old hobby painter, who loved easing into her day by sitting with tea for an hour before moving. She shared how numbness in her legs became common, and tests revealed poor circulation that heightened her clot risk. A wake-up call she turned around with small changes. This painter's canvas of life brightens the point. Strokes of color filled her retirement, but static starts dulled her palette with tingles that interrupted brushwork. The numbness escalated one morn, prompting a doc visit uncovering venous stasis. Forum floods with kin. A knitter whose couch lounges led to swollen ankles disrupting yarn flow, or a birder stationary with binoculars facing cramps on trails. These artists of living bond, swapping inertia to motion stories that color community with hope, like group challenges to paint with movement. Prolonged stillness right after sleep allows blood to pool in the legs, slowing return to the heart and brain. In older adults, less elastic veins make this worse, fostering clots that can travel and cause strokes. Tracking studies of seniors show that early-day sedentariness doubles vascular event risks, even if you're active later. It's counterintuitive as we associate mornings with relaxation, but movement is key to kickstarting flow. Unpacking this, gravity pools blood in extremities during immobility, reducing venous return and cardiac output, starving cerebral perfusion. In seniors, valvular inefficiencies exacerbate, promoting thrombosis via Virchow's triad. The painter's numbness signaled stasis, mirroring research on DVT migration to cerebral arteries. A dancer in shares described post-lounge stiffness turning to vertigo, tied to hypoperfusion. Longitudinal data reveals compounded risks with age-related sarcopenia, weakening muscle pumps that aid circulation. It's a silent build-up stagnation, breeding emboli in that post-sleep fragility. Here's how to adjust gently. Incorporate 5 to 10 minutes of easy motion, like marching in place, arm circles, or a short hallway stroll while your tea brews. No gym needed, just enough to get blood circulating smoothly. This not only cuts risk, but leaves you feeling more alert and ready for whatever the day brings. Enhancing blend motion with joy dance to radio tunes or stretch to window views. Like the painter now warming up with easel side sways, invigorating her art. Threads team with ideas, chair yoga sequences or pet walks, illustrated with encouraging clips. Results ripple. Enhanced mobility, fewer aches, as a members shift from couch to stroll, revived social outings. It's riveting, scripting active mornings through inspiring tales of renewal. These 5 tweaks are a powerful foundation for safer mornings, but they're just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to senior wellness. If you're dealing with joint stiffness that makes movement tricky, check out Healthy Madam's video on easy stretches for achy knees after 60. It's full of gentle routines that tie right into what we've covered today. Links in the description. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Which of these morning habits surprised you the most, or which one are you trying first? Drop it in the comments below. Helps us all learn from each other. If this video brought you some helpful insights, Healthy Madam would be thrilled if you give it a like and subscribe to keep these tips coming your way. Thanks for spending time with us. Here's to healthier tomorrows. Diving deeper, envision how these stretches could complement your new habits. Like knee flexes during hydration weights, shared by a community yogi who transformed creaks into comfort. Stories pour in. One viewer linked videos crediting chain watches for holistic shifts from stroke savvy to supple joints. Engaging questions sparked dialogues. A surprise habit thread exploded with 200+ replies, fostering bonds. Likes and subs fuel our mission, echoing a member's gratitude post. Subscribed after one video, now mornings glow. It's a circle of encouragement where your input shapes future content, making wellness a communal adventure.